Disclaimer. This review type video isn't going to be like my other review videos that I made in the past. It's just going to be a simple video expressing my thoughts about this episode. Because it's more simpler. You can cut all the flowers, but you cannot keep spring from coming. Pablo Neruda. Hi, my name is Vivian, but you can call me Viv. In case you didn't know that yet, a few months ago of last year, I wrote a list that's called Great Things to See in an Arthur episode, which is a list of things that I would like to see in future episodes. No, not like that video. A list of small things that makes an Arthur episode great. That would be awesome to be included in a future episode. Anyways, the second to last thing on this list is break boundaries for the betterment of kids' TV cartoons. And that's what happened in this episode of Mr. Ratburn and the Special Someone. And it made me so happy! Then the next episode came, which was very forgettable, sorry to say. Even though Mr. Ratburn and the Special Someone was better than the second episode, doesn't mean I didn't have problems with it. Before I get started, let me tell you about this podcast that I guest starred on. # not sponsored. Are you sad that Arthur&BusterBFFL is no longer making Arthur episode reviews? There's a cure for that. Grab your closest coloring book and head to the Elwood City Limits Podcast. And listen to all your favorite Arthur episodes being reviewed by two awesome dudes, Will and Lucas, for the awesome price of $0. Unless you join their Patreon. And remember, that's Elwood City Limits. ECL for short. Now let's get started with my thoughts. One of them being that I wish there wasn't a twist, because you can predict what's going to happen if you observe closely, and it wasn't necessary for the characters to be misled. I understand why the main characters of this episode were misled, but there are two plot holes. Number 1. Mr. Ratburn should have told his students who he was marrying from the very beginning. Number 2. When they all got the freaking wedding invitation! Where the character should have seen Mr. Ratburn's and Patrick's names in it. And with that twist existing, it kinda fails to be rewatchable. But there's a similar episode that's rewatchable. The Return of the King. Two similarities of these episodes are, they're both written by Peter K. Hirsch, and the main characters were misled. And the only difference is, The Return of the King is better. Just kidding. That's not the only difference. The other difference is when the characters of The Return of the King were misled, they didn't do anything dishonest to prevent an awful outcome from happening. In Mr. Ratburn and the Special Someone, the characters did something called false faith. In case you don't know what that means, it's when someone does a bad thing for a good outcome. For example, what the main characters did in this episode, where they were trying to stop the wedding, doing dishonest action for a good outcome, which makes me wish that this episode showed that as a moral that doing that is bad, instead of letting the characters get away with what they did. I might have covered that moral in the Word From Us Kids segment, but I'm not sure. The last criticism that I have is, this episode showed that Mr. Ratburn was gay and didn't tell us, which is good. I just wished one of the characters said something about it, instead of them being silent about it. None of them were confused, and it appeared that they understood what was going on. I just wish that they were more open with words instead of silent smiles. And I would have really liked to see Mr. Ratburn interacting with Patrick. But I guess there wasn't enough time in that 11-minute episode to show their relationship with each other, since all the minutes were taken over by the cringy moments in order to create an obvious twist. Since this episode didn't do anything like that, I hope there will be future episodes of this series that will show more of their relationship, showing us how they met, how they fell in love, how they became boyfriend and boyfriend, who proposed, did one of them propose, and it ended up the other person was going to propose as well. Where are they going to live? That answer is obvious. And I just want to see their lovely relationship as a married couple and how they interact with each other. I am so happy that this show has finally been able to take that first step forward. I hope they take many more steps forward with Nigel's and Patrick's relationship, and with other Arthur episodes that represent the LGBTQ plus community in many ways for many of these characters. I can't wait. I can't believe Mr. Ratburn got married. I'm so happy for him. It feels like a dream. And I guess that's all I have to say, according to the script that I wrote. Goodbye, everyone, and have a wonderful kind of day. Bye! And if they don't include Mr. Ratburn in the 2019 YouTube Rewind, I am going to freaking lose. Dun dun dun, dun dun dun, dun dun dun. Okay, I'm done.